she was like, don't forget to record. Okay, let me just make sure that it's recording. All right, it is recording. All right, sweet. Okay, so if you were not able to download, I'm just going to put the link in here again so that you're able to download. If not, see if one of your friends will send it to you as an attachment. If you're in ROAR, we put it in ROAR. And I believe that Ms. Ashley Hilliard is streaming this. So while we were doing our Destin trip, one of the things that we noticed was that we're hearing some consistent problems that people are having with the 72-hour game plan in terms of operationalizing it. It works really, really well. The concept is good. It works very well. You make a list of people, you call them, treat your business like a business, go, 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 all done. But operationalizing it for some people is more difficult than for others, just because of the way we think. Like, I'm the sort of person who needs a list of things. Like, I have to have a list in front of me. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And the 72-hour game plan is a really good overview. It's a big thinker idea, but it's missing those little, like, you know, okay, I need to make a list of 10 people in here and check off each person on the list, which is something that, you know, sort of I should be doing for myself anyway. But I need that so that I feel like I am accomplishing something. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, whoever it is that is like writing blue things, please do not write blue things. I need to lock everybody off. Disable attendee annotation. There we go. Okay, so, all right, so we realized that on our team, a lot of the things that people are struggling with is understanding how much inventory they need to be able to get from where they are at when they start to where they need to be. And also, because like I get the question a lot, and I'm sure many of you who are sponsors get this question frequently, how much inventory do I need? And the answer is, I don't know. You know, like, it really depends on what your goals are. Summer, you're going to need to check your computer settings. Because since everyone else can hear, I'm assuming it's something on your end. So the key thing is to, so for those of you who can't hear, this is definitely going to be your setting, so I'm not going to address this again, just because I don't want to pause it constantly, because we're going to lose a lot of time that way. So if you aren't able to hear, that's going to be something that needs to be taken care of. If you are not able to access the spreadsheet when the time comes to download, I will definitely I can upload it again for other people to download, no problem. So, all right, so we know that I'm not going to address that again. So somebody else can tell them that I'm not going to talk about that again. Okay, so now, we're not going to address everything today, because that's the reason this is set up as a boot camp with several different workshops, because this is a process. It's not something that you can do one day and at the end of it you're going to be like, yep, at the end of today I'm going to know everything that I need to know, because the amount of information that you need is significant and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So we're going to do it in stages. So I'm not going to do everything today. Today I'm going to start with just talking about where we're at. So today's plan is I'm going to do an overview of the 72-hour game plan bootcamp workshops. Okay, so we're going to go talk about what that is and how I have it structured and why I have it structured that way. Our goals for the end of the day are to construct a complete picture of your current financial landscape. Okay, it's what it looks like right now at this time. The presentation and all materials are going to be available to everyone on this call for you to share with anyone that you want Saturday night after the second one. I want everyone in here to be able to teach this to their teams. The goal here is for me to sort of give you the information, show you how I would teach it, and then all of you are welcome to share it with whoever you want. So you can take this presentation, copy paste it. I'm going to give you the PowerPoint itself. You can have the materials. You can have everything that you want to be able to customize it for your team or what you feel would work best for any individual person. Then we're going to talk about what your financial goals are. Okay, and then at last we're going to determine how many items you need and how many parties you need to have once you hit that goal. So like, if you decide your goals are to make $5,000 a month, how many parties do you need to have a week? How many items do you need to sell per party? This is going to be our roadmap where we're going to get started. The goal for this particular session is to figure out what is your starting point. Think of it a lot in terms of, let's say you guys wanted to drive from Boston to DC. You would go to Google and you'd say, okay, here I am, Boston. I'm going to DC. Google, tell me how to get there. Okay, so we're here with the Boston and here with the DC, and this is how we get there. So obviously a very short trip to DC. And how are we going to get there? What is the path that we need to take to get there? So today we're just going to talk about our starting and our ending. It's where we're getting the foundation ready to get Google Maps going for us. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to get there, but not operationalizing it. So at the end of today, you're not necessarily going to know everything you need to know, but over the course of the next series of workshops, you are going to get an idea of what it is that we're going to be doing. So you'll see that I've broken it up into treating your business like a business. Okay, what does that mean? All right, now we talk about that a lot. There are a lot of presentations that we have where people are talking about treating your business like a business. Make sure you have office hours, make sure you set time aside. We're going to do it in a more like gritty sense. We're going to go down into the granular level. We're going to talk about what kind of money do you need? What kind of inventory do you need? What kind of parties do you need? What is the kind of time that you have? If you have a goal of, say, making $16,000 after all of your reinvestment is done every month, you're going to have to do probably 10 to 15 parties a week. Let's say you're working a full-time job. If you're doing that, you don't have time for 10 to 16 parties a week. So what this is going to help us do is figure out, okay, what do you need to adjust the time you have available, or do you need to adjust your goals? How do you need to do that? And this is going to change periodically, by the way. So your goals will change over time. So your goal right now could be, I want to get out of debt, and so I need to have this, right? And you're going to make a list of maybe you need to do 4 parties a week to make $5,000 extra a month to pay off your debt. Maybe that's your goal. And that'll work fine. Once you achieve that goal, now you're going to have another goal. So this is basically, it's a living thing, but we're going to talk about the time management versus your particular goals, because a lot of times we set lofty goals for ourselves without taking into account the amount of time that it takes us to do what needs to be done to achieve those goals. So something has to give. Is it going to be time? Is it going to be goals? We may need to modify our goals a little till we get there, and then we're like, okay, now where am I at? I'm going to do some restocking. I'm willing to invest more time so I can increase my goals. So we're going to talk about that. And then lastly, the age-old burning question, how much inventory do you need to be able to hit those goals? Because that's the question we all get all the time. You ask it, I ask it, how much inventory do I need to reach my goals? So that's the treating your business like a business portion of the 72-hour game plan. That's 3 workshops. This is the only workshop that's an hour and a half because it has all of the preludes to the rest of the workshops, and we're going to talk a little bit about why we're doing this, and we're going to set the stage for the rest of the workshops. Also, by the way, if it looks like I'm looking to the side, it's actually because all of the people are on the side here, and I need to feel like I'm talking to someone. And so just looking at the screen, it just feels weird. So step 2 is writing our list of names. Now, having done a lot of Inspires where we do the 72-hour game plan and done the 72-hour game plan with our team and whatnot, I can tell you that I have noticed that this is the part that people are great at. People make a very long list of all of the people that they can contact, and they have a list. We're going to take this to the next level and talk about not just your a list of contacts. We're not going to talk about, okay, here, go through your cell phone and your Facebook and whatnot. We're actually going to branch out. By the time we're done, you're going to have so many resources for so many contacts that there is no way you'll be able to get through all of them. That's how many contacts we're going to build. And we're going to talk about the tools as to how to find those so that you can start building the list. Because we want to reach out, because many of us have been doing this long enough to where we've exhausted our cell phone list, we've exhausted our Facebook list, we've called everybody we know. What else is out there? I did some math, which I'm not going to talk about here because it's available in many of the recordings and trainings and whatnot, that there are 117 million women out there who have not yet heard about LuLaRoe. 117 million. This contact list is going to help us reach that 117 million women so we can bring more fish to the pond. Danielle does this, more fish to the pond. And then lastly, and this is the part that people struggle with. People are amazing at making that list, right? And then once we get to the booking parties, that's when it just kind of stops. I cannot tell you how many times I have had people tell me that they just don't want to call for whatever reason. They have the list, but they never do anything with it. We are going to put together a plan of action step by step with checklists and everything. You're going to get I spent a really long time making that checklist. You're going to love it. For some of you, you're going to be like, I only want some of it. Some of you are going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm going to use every single page. But basically the goal is it gives you a weekly checklist of things that you need to do to further your business. What's great about that is that it actually, it's the feeling of accomplishment, guys. Check. It's awesome. There's nothing I like better than that feeling. And then so most of you are going to stop at stage 3. Okay, that's where most people are going to stop. The last one is full-time Lula. Not everybody's going to want to do that. Some people will, some people won't. And that's going to be like the end push where you're like going for 2,000 pieces and booking 15 parties a week. Well, 15 is a bit much, but you know what I mean. You're just booking parties constantly. So that the last one, fourth one is optional, but all the way till here is basically this is the whole set. No, I was about to do this on the screen, like you could see my hand touching the screen. Yes, this is the set. Okay, so I want to talk about Syra and I and where we started. Okay, this is a very significant slide, and when I did the practice session with Syra, she was you're welcome, Debbie. She was she laughed because this is, and now when I look at this, I don't know why suddenly I'm like all emotional. Syra and I grew up in Pakistan, and we vacillated between being really poor and having money. My dad was terrible with money. Like, he would make money and then he'd just spend all of it. And so we were poor for a really long time. And then some money would come in and we'd have, fancy Game Boys and Super Nintendos and whatnot, or Ataris. And then he'd spend it all and then we'd have nothing. And one Christmas, my mother, we had nothing and she wanted to give us a present. So she bought a bath sponge and toothbrush, and wrapped it up so that we would have something to open, which, it's like, as my sister tells me, as a mother, that's like really, that's really heartbreaking because you want your kids to have something. But as a consequence, we didn't learn about how to manage money, and we had no understanding of money in general. And when we came to America, you had these things called credit cards, and we were like, whoa, this is cool. And like, we went to college together and we're dorm mates, which, shocking to those of you who know us. We had that first day orientation where they give you all these credit cards, and like, we signed up for all of them and we got all of them. Oh, yay, it's so amazing, our credit cards. Yeah, we spent all of that money. And we didn't really have an understanding of what that meant until later. So Syra and I were at this point in our life where we were about to be evicted. Our house was, infested with mice and roaches. And when I say mice, I'm not even kidding. Like, I would find dead mice on the floor, like, all the time. Our landlord would not take care of them. And so, like, at night, I would be terrified to use the bathroom because I didn't want to step on a mouse. And we were about to be evicted and we couldn't afford to eat. So this is what we ate. So we ate banquet chicken and Ori-Ida fries and Cholula sauce. You can buy Cholula sauce by the gallon for $12.94 at the time. Now it's $20. Inflation. And the reason you had the Cholula sauce was because you could slather the chicken and the Ori-Ida in it, and then you wouldn't be able to taste the actual food. It was delicious. I love Cholula, but that's because basically I was drinking Cholula. But this is how we lived. This was our life. And but we ended up getting 3 jobs each to be able to get ourselves out of debt and pay ourselves back and whatnot. We ended up working in Harvard for a while. And this is going to be important because it'll sort of give you the context for why I feel like this is the path to take for success in LuLaRoe. And why, I feel like knowing your starting and ending point is important. We were financial managers for small research enterprises. Oh, awesome. We actually worked at the Harvard Hospital, the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, which is the teaching hospital of Harvard. But, nobody's ever heard of VI, so we usually go to Harvard. But Harvard, and they're all basically all, sort of combined. And there's like 10 hospitals in Harvard. So many people don't know this, but that most of inside academic medical centers and schools, each individual department is its own financial entity. It's its own little business. So like the hospital itself, like when you think about a hospital like, Mount Sinai or whatever, that's a big hospital, but inside it, each of the departments is their own financial entity, and each of the research endeavors is, well, that's true. Everyone in New England has, because we are the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. So I don't know why I say we. I'm not there anymore. We manage, so inside the hospital, in the research endeavors, each of them is their own little business. So they have their own budgets, their own employees, their own income, their own everything. And they're distinct from each other. Very much like at LuLaRoe, we work under the umbrella of LuLaRoe, but we are all our own individual businesses. And a lot of what Syra and I were very good at is, the research world is not very easy, and you're always trying to get grants, and people were running out of money, and it was always a financial balancing act. We were constantly balancing our finances for our investigators, and they're often struggling to stay afloat. How do I keep my business going? And Syra and I happen to have a knack for taking somebody's financial situation, cleaning it up, figuring out what was happening with it, and figure out how to go from where they were at to a sustainable business model. Now, we didn't always do it ourselves. Like Syra and I were both managers, and so we would teach people how to do that. But it was one of the things that was something that we loved to do, was helping them find success through financial stability. So that was what our job was. But I can tell you that having done this for so many years, like I can't even think, I don't even know how long I've been doing this job. It's been a really long time. But I've been in a lot of industries, and regardless of the industry or level of education, like it does not matter if you're in a hospital or if you're in Microsoft or if you are in at LuLaRoe, or if you have a PhD and MD, dropped out of high school, none of that matters. It does not matter what your level of education or experience is, because in the end, success for any of them takes hard work. It's just, in the end, you have to do the work. Now, I know that everyone here, you're all here, or you're all going to watch the recording. Those of you who are here watching the recording, paying attention, you are working hard. Clearly you care. But something that's become apparent is that, in general, and that we all tend to habitually do, is that there is a big difference between working hard and working effectively. I had a consultant come to me the other day who's struggling in her business, and she said, I don't know what to do. I'm not making any money. Nobody's coming to my parties. My parties aren't doing very well. I'm not selling anything. Actually, it started with I'm not selling anything at my parties. So I asked her some questions, leading questions, like, okay, so, what did you do? Well, she's like, my room is perfect. My Lula is perfect. I have, like, showed me pictures of her room. It was so pretty. And she's like, it's amazing. And, her business cards and her style cards, like everything, honestly, it was like a fancy shishi place that you would walk into, right? And so I said, okay. I was like, well, what kind of hostess prep are you doing? Oh, well, I don't really need hostess prep. And I'm like, okay, all right. That's one thing right there. So I logged that away. And then I said, okay, well, how are you advertising your parties? Well, I posted on my VIP group and my business page. And I'm like, what about invitations? What about, flyers? What, handing? Oh, I don't, no, I don't really like doing any of that. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like getting in people's face. Now, by any stretch of the imagination, this consultant was working really hard. She worked so hard on her parties. She worked so hard on making everything perfect. She worked really hard on her VIP page. She worked very, very hard and spent a lot of time on her business. However, nothing that she was doing was bringing people into her business. All it was doing was making people who may have already known about it come buy from her, but that's a small list. You have got to have you have got to do more. Now, again, in individual situations, like you're going to have times where you have parties and you do flyers and no one shows up. That does happen. It's happened to me and Syra. We have had parties where no one shows up. It was just us, and some of our team came, and that was really cool. And we hung out and we had a great time, but not a single customer came. Actually, our team technically counted as customers because I think one of the members of our team bought like 50 items or something. She bought a lot of items. But the point is that the work had to be done. It's about working effectively. I want all of us here, and I know I do this, by the way. There are things that I fixate on that I think are so important. They are just so important. But they aren't. I think they are, but they're not. For example, I am obsessive about graphics. My background, one of my backgrounds, is in graphic design, and I love designing things. So I will spend forever finding the perfect background and the perfect, perfect little swoosh, and then like I gotta have the perfect font, and it's all gotta be like, oh, what I want to do, I want it aligned on the left or the right. I don't even. I'll spend 20, 30 minutes on this. That is a colossal waste of time. It just is a waste of time. And I know it seems important to us, but it's not, because if it takes me 20 minutes to do that, that's 20 minutes I could have spent on something else. Taken 10 seconds to make that graphic, because I have enough experience to take 10 seconds to make a graphic. It doesn't take me that long. And spend the rest of the 20 minutes advertising the party, going out and handing flyers, doing other things to get people into my business, working the 72-hour game plan, anything else that's not graphics, because I think it's important. It's really key to identify what is and isn't actually important to your business. You have to be able to discern what you think is important that isn't really from what actually is important to your business. And the way to do that is to figure out, is something making you money or is something costing you money? This is what Syra says all the time. Is it making you money? There's only two activities. Is it making you money or costing you money? And in work relations, there's technically three things. There's stuff that you do with your family Then there's stuff that you do that makes you money. Then there's stuff you do that costs you money. So there's technically 3 buckets of things you do in a day. Sorry, I have allergies like you wouldn't even believe. This is going to be great recorded for posterity. So I just want you to know that we are not even close with the hostess packet and stuff like that. Like that's part of all of our workshop, but for the moment, like we're going to focus on this first session, which is about setting the foundation and figuring out where we start and end. But I would suggest you talk to your sponsor and your team because it's highly likely that they have something. There's like tons out there right now. Okay. And by the way, if anyone here has an idea for any of these hostess packet preps or things like that, send them to me that you don't mind sharing. Send them to me and I will include them in the materials at the end, because at the end of every session, I will send an email out to all attendees with a list of resources, attachments for things that people, have suggested that they wanted, stuff like that. I may take some and put it into a different workshop and send it with that so that it's thematically organized, but definitely send all of your tools that you have so that we can make it available to everyone. This will be available to anyone at LuLaRoe who wants it. You're more than welcome. Okay, so is it making you money or is it costing you money? So for example, if you are doing a packaging, right? And it's taking 13 minutes for you to package every item because you have like your tissue paper and your sticker, and then you put a little bit of candy there, and then you write a little note, and then you do all this stuff. That's taking like 13 minutes of your time, right? Is that making you money? I know it's something that's important to you, but is that making you money? And how short can you shrink it down? Can you make it so that you put the tissue in a sticker and that's it? Do you really need all of the other ribbons and the curls that, my mom used to do these things with scissors where you take the scissor and you do this with the ribbon and it curls in. Do you need to do that? I'm terrible at doing that, by the way. But do you actually need to do that? Figure out what is making you money and what is costing you money. Because if you can take your shipping from 2 hours to 1 hour, say, because you are now doing it in a more effective and efficient way possible, then you now suddenly bought yourself an hour to have a party, to advertise, to do the 72-hour game plan. You bought yourself time right there. There's only so much time in the day, and you have to what's the word I'm looking for? Budget it accordingly. Okay. And it takes sacrifice. Okay, this is going to be the hardest thing that I'm going to ask any of you to do. And I'm not asking you to do this because I'm not doing this. I do this myself every day. I'm in therapy, and my therapist came up with some of this stuff. Well, one of these things. We are all willing to sacrifice sleep, dinners out, time with family. These are things that are easy to sacrifice. Like, they're not easy to sacrifice like in our hearts, but they're easy because they're tangible items. Dinner with family takes an hour. I can sacrifice that for my business. There we go. I bought an hour, right? Sleep. Okay, instead of sleeping 8 hours, I'll sleep 7 hours. I'll sleep 6 hours. I'll sleep, whatever it is. The key thing to figure out is, are you really buying yourself all that much time? You're only buying an hour here, and what are you sacrificing? You're sacrificing your health and time with your family. I argue that studies show that we as human beings are programmed to be afraid of success, because we don't want to get our hopes up and then have our hopes dashed. That feeling is horrible. And as a consequence, we put a lot of roadblocks in our way that end up taking more time than the time with family and the sleep combined. The amount of time we spend saying we can't do things because they make us uncomfortable is colossal compared to the amount of time that you'll save with the time with family and stuff. I say you do your time with family, you do that extra hour of sleep, and you go out to dinner. But instead, let go of your fear of success. If you think about all the things that you say I can't do, whatever it is, and we all have them. For me, it's always about people. I'm terrified of people. Like, I can talk to 1,000, 2,000, an arena full of people, no problem. You get me one-on-one, you're going to see this look every time. I am terrified of people because my self-esteem is extremely low. And I am positive that what I'm going to say, whatever the next thing I say is going to be the dumbest thing I have ever said. And basically that's how they're going to remember me. Okay, so that's my fear. I can't because I don't want to look stupid. It has taken me a long, long time to work my way out of that. But I'm not kidding when I say it's still an everyday battle. And there is security. So I have social anxiety, right? And I have low self-esteem. So there's security in saying, okay, I have low self-esteem and I am insecure and I have social anxiety. So I can't go out there and talk to people. I'm comfortable in that response, because think about the kinds of things that we tell, we hear all the time from other people, that LuLaRoe sells itself, right? We hear that all the time. LuLaRoe sells itself. Just show them the clothes and they'll buy it, right? What does that mean if they say no, right? So then take that to the next level. If they say no, and these clothes are things that people would buy just by showing them to them, then they must be saying no because of me, right? Like, I'm the reason. That fear of rejection can be palpable and can be terrifying. So, sorry, my allergies are driving me bonkers. Of course, and it only happens, by the way, when I'm doing a presentation. Like, I'm fine the rest of the day, and then I do a presentation, and allergies go crazy. All right. We come up with excuses as to why I can't. And, okay, that's fine, as long as I didn't terrify you. We need to get out of the habit of saying I can't. And there are many people out there right now who are successful in this business who have all the reasons in the world to say I can't. Erin House was bedridden. She couldn't walk. And she found success because she didn't have I can't in her vocabulary. By the way, I'm going to read all these comments later. Like, I just can't read them all talking at the same time. Some I can, but most I can't. But there is, people out there who take I can't out of their vocabulary, find that they can do anything. So I want to set a challenge out to everyone here, okay? For this game plan, where you're going to do this, right? If we're going to be here, we're going to do this. You're going to spend hours of your time here. You're going to listen to me talk for like an hour and a half. I want you to remove the words I can't and what if from your vocabulary, okay? Because anything that comes after I can't because is an excuse. I don't care what it is. It's an excuse. Even if it's a valid excuse, it's still an excuse. I'm afraid of rejection. I have social anxiety. I can't walk. I have 8 children. All of that. Perfectly valid, still an excuse. Take that out of your vocabulary just for the course of this workshop, okay? After that, if you decide you don't want it, then fine. You can go back to saying I can't. But let's do this exercise. And then second, remove what if from your vocabulary. What if? There's nothing wrong with having 8 children. I'm just saying, that's not an excuse. What if? Oh, Annette said this day. Annette, are you here? What did you say today? Oh, can't is just an opinion. That's what Annette said today. What if, anything that comes after what if is you making up a drama right there. What if? It hasn't happened yet, so you're creating a drama. So remove that from your vocabulary. That was actually the biggest step that my therapist gave me that changed my perspective on life overwhelmingly. That was the single most significant thing she has done for me and I love her and she's done a lot for me, but that's the most significant. And second, I want you to give yourself permission to succeed. Just it's okay to succeed. Totally okay. You guys can succeed. It's okay. I give you permission to do that. Give yourself permission as well. And I also give you permission and give yourself permission. This is the most important. Give yourself permission to see your mistakes as just opportunities to succeed next time. One of the investigators that I worked with before saw every single situation that did not turn out the way he wanted it to turn out as a failure. And he would use that word. It's a failure. We have failed. That kind of talk does so much damage to your brain and to your psyche. It's ridiculous because if you look at his life, how often do things turn out exactly the way you want them to, right? Like, not often. They turn out a certain way and you're like, okay, I'm going to make adjustments and move on. Okay, I'm going to make adjustments and move on. Anyone who's done a home remodeling project has seen that their house that it does not turn out the way you want it to, but in the end it turns out good. You just work it out. You need to, if you look back at your life and anytime you did not get exactly what you wanted, say this is a failure, then your life is littered with failures. And how terrible is that for your self-esteem? How terrible is that for your psyche? Remove that from your vocabulary. It's not a failure. It's fine. It's just you learning how to succeed the next time. It's just you adapting to a different situation so that now next time you'll be better. I encourage you, I challenge you that for the next, however long you're in this workshop for, this boot camp, see your mistakes as permission to succeed. Okay? All right. So now, who's ready? Finances. Are we ready? Everybody's ready. Okay, where it's time. Okay. We've done all of this, the sort of conceptual stuff. Now we're gonna go into like nitty gritty. Okay. Now I just realized I don't have somebody tell me what time it is in Eastern time. I don't have a clock, which is ridiculous. They should really put that on here. Okay, perfect. We've got just okay. You know what I didn't realize? We have how many people on this call? We have 459 people on this call, and everyone's going to say what time it is. Oh, I'm such a silly person. It's right there on the timestamp. Silly person. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, you must review your finances consistently. We're going to do this exercise today, but you have got to do it all the time. I look at my personal finances every week, all the time. And I look at our business finances every other day. Initially, it's going to take you a long time and you're going to just feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done, right? That's fine. But still do it, because I want you to go back to that Google Map thing. All right. So I know, right? It makes me really anxious. Go back to that Google Map thing. How many of you put in origin, destination, hit go Google, then turn off the sound, put your phone down, and never look at it again while you're driving? Nobody does that, clearly, because how do we get where we're going, right? Most of us have the sound turned on, so she'll be like, turn left at the corner, or whatever. A lot of us who are driving with other people, the husband say, or, our partner, whoever's in the car with us says, oh yeah, we've got this many miles left. We're here. Oh, okay, this is the street coming. We like to know where we're at, even if it doesn't sort of mean anything to us. Like if I'm driving from Boston to DC, that's a long drive. And I could drive for 5 hours and I'd be like, I feel like I'm getting nowhere. Like I have been driving forever. But we are getting somewhere, and looking at Google, the map that says, oh, now you have an hour left. Now you have 15 minutes left. It shows you that progress that you're making. You have got to keep on top of your personal and business finances so that you always know where you are and you always know where you're going. If you don't have it at your fingertips, we're going to give it to you so that you have it at your fingertips. Do it consistently, okay? Now, I need to see the numbers go down. Like, I'll tell you right now, with this process that I have, so when Syra and I started this, Syra started a little over a year ago. She did it as a hobby for the first 6 months. And in January, we started doing this as a business, okay? Keep that in mind. She said to me, when can I pay off my debt? And I said, and I said, all right, in September, I will be able to start paying off my debt. And in October, you'll be able to. And the reason is it's different is just because our personal family finances are different. She has 3 kids. I don't have any. So it's just a little different that way. I was able to just start sooner. But I said to her, from the beginning till there is no debt. Like, we're not paying off debt. All we can do is stay above water. We're just going to tread water so that we don't drown. And in September is where the critical mass happens. We're going to whoosh and go crazy, right? Now, our sales were on track for that. They were completely on track for that. We actually scaled back on our sales deliberately because our team got very large and we started participating a lot more in the community. But our sales we were totally on track for us to be able to do that. And we did, by the way. So in September, I've started paying off my debt. I have consistently had $40,000 in debt for the last 10 years. My debt right now is $20,000 because I started paying it off. It took me 9 months to get there. I paid nothing off for the first 9 months. This month, I started sending money in. I sent lots of it, and all of the money went in. So just know that over time, you're going to determine what that goal is. If your goal is to start paying off debt, the first portion of this exercise is going to be just you treading water. You have got to just be okay with being uncomfortable and treading water. This thing here, great things never come from comfort zones. For those of you who are uncomfortable being in debt, get used to it for just a little while longer, because in the long run, this investment is going to help you just pay it all off. Like, you're going to build it up till you get critical mass, and then you're going to, okay? Okay, so initial budget. It's going to take about 20 minutes. So pull out the spreadsheet. In the meantime, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute so I can just make sure that I'm going to just put it in a different place so that other people can download it. And I just want to make sure that everybody is able to download. All right, but for right now, what I want everybody to do is pull out that spreadsheet. We're going to get people started. Is there anybody here who does not have it? Just post there. I wish there was a way for me to add oh, you know what? I'm so silly. Here, I have an idea. You'll probably get an error when you do this, but this will be a faster way to do it. Hold on. Give me a sec. There we go. Oh, I know why people can't download it. Oh, I'm so silly. I'm redonkulous, people. All right, I know what I did. I had the download cap set at 400, so I bet we've downloaded 400, and then it just kind of stopped. So let's fix the settings, and then more people should be able to download it after that. Sorry about that. That was the one thing I didn't test in advance. I tested everything. Okay. Download, settings, download speed. Apparently I'm supposed to, there's a sanitize option here. Not really sure what that means, but okay. Okay. I see. It's to remove illegal characters. Okay. Workshop1 income goals. There we go. And then let me see if I can increase the number of downloads allowed. It may be that I actually need to make it pro, which is unfortunate. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't want to waste time. So if you're in Roar, go to Roar and download it there. If you're not in Roar, go to the business development page. I'm going to upload it there as a file, and we'll just do it that way. I don't mind if people download it now because this recording is going to be available, and that way everybody can get it. Look at me, problem solving. Oh, hey, look at that. That was really weird, Ashley, because she's showing me add file, and she's all right. I have uploaded this into the business dev thing, and I'm going to post the link in here, and everybody can download it. Okay, good. All right, there we go. That's the group. If you're not in there, just go ahead and ask for it. Okay, so if your husband, okay, so I just want to talk. So if your husband already does it, or if you are comfortable with that and that's your arrangement, that's totally fine. But my question would be, I don't know how you know where you're going if you don't know where you're at. So your husband should be on this. Maybe your husband does the worksheet with you. However it is, you have, there's no way for you to identify where you need to go if you don't know where you're at right now. Syra, are you on this? I just posted the link right here. So you can just go join it and it'll be there. Whoever's, Syra, if you're here, you can work it online, is probably better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start with, I'm going to show you what this worksheet is and how we're going to do it, and then I'll come back and approve people. I'm just going to go approve who's there right now just to start, and then we'll go in and go over the worksheet specifically. Wow, look at that. There's like a gajillion people that want to join. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're doing, people. We are going to enter in. The first thing we want to do is figure out where we are at this moment in terms of our income, okay? So I want you to go to, this is the first page, your starting budget, okay? Sister here, Syra, if you're here, say something. Okay, if your husband pays everything and you're only doing LuLaRoe, then you're not going to be able to do the roadmap portion of it. So this may not be, if this particular portion may not be impactful for you. What you probably want to do instead is you want to talk, or well, actually first I'm going to tell you guys what to do. So many of you can be doing this if you don't need to, hear what I'm saying. So what I want you to fill in over here, this section right here, is to list your monthly income net, so that's your goal budget, starting budget, there we go. This is the one. Your starting budget does not have LuLaRoe in here, okay? It's a very specific reason why LuLaRoe is not in here. We are assuming right now that there is no LuLaRoe money. So you fill in the net income from each person and any other income that you may have. Okay, this should probably take you about 5 to 7 minutes. In the meantime, net is after tax. Net is what you take home after you are able to, after all of this health insurance and whatnot is taken out. So this is mostly about just your take-home pay. So for those of you who are doing this with your husbands and your husband manages all the finance and you just do LuLaRoe, then you're going to want to do this a little bit differently. You are not going to need Luna, will you stop it? Sorry, my dog is crazy. You're going to want to, okay, Max, yes, you can download it. I'm trying to, if you are full LuLaRoe, that's fine. Yep, that's, if you're already full-time Lula, then leave it blank. Then you just leave it blank for right now. Because what we're trying to figure out is how much, Luna! This is great, we're gonna record this for posterity too. I might just stick her in the crate. She's just very grunty. She's a very grunty dog. She never barks, she just, all the time. That's how I wake up in the morning, is, stop it. And then she jumps up like a raptor. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. So, that's okay. We're all the making money part will come. This is the thing to remember is this is a slow process. This is not, and I'm going to pick her up to sort her out. This is not Get rich quick. If you were hoping that this workshop is going to get you rich very quickly, it won't. It won't get you rich quickly. You are not going to have a ton of money at the end of this workshop. What you will have, though, is a roadmap that will help you get there. So if it comes out directly out of your check, then it doesn't count. There are people who pay health insurance after taxes. So they have their own health insurance. I know, isn't she adorable? Like, look at her. She's so cute. She's such a devil. I love my dogs. So anyway, for you who is doing this Lula and you don't know your financial situation and you're not doing it for a roadmap, for you it's going to be a little different. You're going to not need your current. You're going to do your goal one instead. She is an Alaskan Klee Kai, a mini husky. I have 3 of them. She's the grunty one. If you are responsible for your partner's debt, then include it. So if your finances are combined, then put everything together. If your finances are separate, then just do yours. So the goal is to figure out how much money you need. So you are either a unit with your spouse and partner, or you are yourself individually and like you're dating somebody or whatever, or maybe you guys keep your spouse and you keep your finances completely separate. No, yeah, I meant Lula partner. I meant like your husband, partner, wife, partner, same-sex partner, whatever it is. Yeah, this is the key. So what I said is that if you have your finances separate, so my husband and I, we keep our finances separate, but I basically pay for almost everything except his car because he has to pay for his Mustang himself. Incidentally, Luna, this dog here, I just paid her off, and she's 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. I just paid her off though. She's 4. I can never remember how old she is. But if you are under credit cards, where the below portion, yep, like the LLR debt is, so credit card, yeah. No, this is, by the way, so the thing to keep in mind is this section here with the credit card, this is not your total amount. This is your minimum monthly payment. I want everybody to know, this is not the portion where you put in, I want to pay off my debt. This is all the stuff that I want to do. This is the portion where you put in the minimum you need to tread water to last while you get yourself up to critical mass. Because one of the things that we've noticed is it's terrifying to not know if you're going to be able to pay yourself back or how you're going to do it. How did you see my UPS notification? Okay. Oh, cool. Who knew? Ah, why am I? Oh, what am I doing? Sorry, I just pressed a button because things keep popping up. I just want to go in and do the business sharing thing and approve everybody. So if your finances are separate, make sure that you keep them. Like my husband and I keep our finances separate, so I would only do my here. If we put our finances together, then you'll put them all together. So that's really the key thing there. All right, here we go. Let's go back to the meeting and share again. Share screen. There we go. Okay. All right, next one. Okay, so I'm giving people time to do that. No, don't add them all together. Have them all be separate. Just add rows if you need to. If you want to add rows, you can just right-click here. So just select the row, right-click, and insert. Okay, and then you can add a row. But make sure you keep them all separate. Correct. You want to know what your monthly cost is. So the key thing is we're trying to figure out what is the minimum amount of money you need per month to be able to survive. Just making sure I'm getting all the questions here. All right. You don't need to redo it weekly. You just need to pay attention. You need to just pay attention to what it is weekly. So you'll look at it every week, I look at it every week and just update it as necessary. Now, I don't use this particular spreadsheet because I've spent many, many years building my spreadsheet and customizing it to myself. So, but I look at it every week and I just go in and update it. I just double check the numbers every week. Yes, if it's part of your expenses, here's the thing with your expenses, by the way, guys. Don't play games with yourself like I do. I play a lot of mental games with myself. So for me, it's like, well, this payment doesn't really count because, so I'm not going to include it on my list. No, everything counts. Psychologically, I used to do that to like make myself feel better. It doesn't work in the long run. If your husband pays everything, you would not fill this one out. You have nothing in 1K in variance part 4. Scroll back up. There you go. Hold on, I just want to, Luna, go away. Okay, I just want to, oh, okay. Give me a sec, I just want to do this. I did this a couple of times and I had somebody check it, so let's pretend that's my income, because, yeah, why not? And let's say my dinner party cost me $40,000. Okay, so you should have something in disposable income. You shouldn't have a variance on this one. You should just have this here. Okay. Alrighty, so, okay, now I just gotta go down the list, scroll back up. What are my goals? To pay all the monthly bills. Alright, this is not your goal. Right now, you're just filling out your starting budget. This is your current situation, not your goal. Your goal is something completely different. Then that becomes money you just want to put in savings. But you can determine that you want to pay yourself back. So if you say you want to pay yourself, like, but the thing is, if you took it out of savings and while you're treading water, you do not need to pay yourself back. That may be something you want to do. You don't need to do it. The only time you need to do this is if you have a significant interest, or like as in if you don't have a 0% interest credit card. But the goal for this particular workshop is you need to make sure that you are able to put everything that you can back into your inventory. Everything needs to go back into your inventory. Okay, $200 savings. Do it based on right now, Alicia. If your LLR credit card is 0%, then leave it. Then your payment is 0 on that. If it's 0% and you don't have to pay anything, then it's 0. If your credit card is 0%, then you have a minimum payment that comes on your credit card that says minimum payment due. That's what you put in there. So you don't divide it. You basically just say minimum payment. So your minimum payment is $120. That's what goes in there. This particular starting budget is your absolute minimum payments. Okay. No, a loan and forbearance doesn't go here for now. If you don't have to pay it, anything you do not have to pay, do not put in here. This is the time where we're building up. So anything that we can cut, we cut. Okay. Section 4. Yeah, don't do anything about section 4 right now. We're just filling in this portion right now. Okay. I do talk fast. I know I need to slow it down. Quarterly payments, divide by 3. I just asked them to pay my bills. There we go. Sorry, oh my goodness, I'm like catching up. Oh, it may have said variance before. Oh, I may have, oh. Okay, I know what happened. I know what happened. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh, how annoying. Okay. Good news is you guys can, oh, that's really annoying. I'm so sorry. The wrong one got uploaded. That's a real hell embarrassment here. Okay. Good news is it's all in, there's 2 things you can do. You can actually go download it from Roar or download it from the business strategy group. And then you can just copy paste the information. Nothing is any different. Like we just named things a little different and the calculations are a little different. So you can copy paste it. And there you go. Let me just approve everybody in here. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm just sorry. I'm trying to go through all this list. Yeah, my 40K dinner party. Yeah, you can totally come. Oh, I need to get out of Facebook. It's driving me crazy. Okay. All right. Retirement. If that comes out automatically, then yes, that should continue to go. Yes, so for those of you who have variants, please download the updated one, and then you can just copy paste it. On this sheet, everything is basically the same. It should fix the math because there was a mistake in that one. If it's health insurance, you don't enter if it's deducted from income. Roar is our team page, but you can download it from the business page. The business page is fine. Don't put anything in the unplanned section because it's not unplanned. Okay, give me a second. I thought that I updated the income needed worksheet. The one on Roar. Sorry, guys. See, this is, you know what? I apologize, but I appreciate the opportunity to sort of like, you know, because this is the first time I'm doing it, the session. So we're going to iron out some of the, I'm looking at it right now. Let's see if it's the right one. Yeah, the one on Roar is correct. And no, wait, the one on the business strategy group is correct. Let me just check the one on Roar. Okay, files. And the one on Roar is also correct. So the only one that was wrong was the one that was uploaded to my website, which I apologize for. So 400 people got the wrong one. I apologize. You go to this page. Oh. Okay. And just copy paste what you've already put in there. The good news is the only thing that changed is the bottom calculation. So when you fill in your income, you can just, the lines are the same, just different formulas at the very bottom. So just copy paste the actual numbers that you put in. I'll email them out to you. Everything will get emailed to you. See, look at that. Problem solving. Okay. All right, so here's the thing. Okay, one of the things that I want to just know that, sorry, if you guys are not under Ashley Hilliard, please don't try to join Roar. Join the business page. If you are already a member, if you're in Ashley Hilliard's downline, then you can join Roar and then you can get it there. But regardless, you can download it here because as a consultant, you have access to this page, and this page has the downloadable thingy there as well. Oh, look at that. It gets the blood rushing when things don't go right. I just downloaded I just posted the link for you. Okay. Tiffany, variance was the word that is actually called disposable income on my screen. That's what the problem was, is I updated it with a newer version that changed the disposable income to that changed the variance to disposable income, and it changed some of the calculations. Okay, I am approving everyone. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, so the good news about all of this is that this is being recorded so that everyone can actually review it later. The goal was for everyone to sort of get started because this is going to take you a while. So just so you know, you're going to want to think on this for longer than the time, like than we have, like just in general. Like it's going to take a couple of days while you marinate on this information. The goal was for you guys to take a look at the presentation, at the worksheet, and see what some of these items were, so that we could talk about them, so that you would get to know what they are. And then later on, over time, you're going to sort of fill this out. You're going to spend, like, you're going to get started. You're going to fill out what you can, and then because it would take probably about 3 to 4 hours to do the whole thing the first time, because a lot of things are going to be, you're going to be like, oh, what's my water bill? I got to divide this. What's going on? But for now, you're going to sort of want to fill it in. Okay, just Luna. The second part here is your total monthly income without LuLaRoe. So it is the total of this information up here. Okay, so the 24th, and I just punched random numbers in here. Okay, I'm gonna lock that dog in the basement. I won't really. This is the total that you have for your income. Okay, The total monthly expenses is basically taking the total income less the total number of expenses and what is the amount of money you have left. Now, in this case, I made myself have a $40,000 dinner party. This is clearly going to be the dinner party of the season. That said, that means that I'm going to be in debt $16,000. Now, more realistically, let's just say I'm not going to fill it all out, but 2,000, right? That means that I have $22,000 of disposable income, which is awesome, right? That said, most of us are not getting into LuLaRoe because we have 22,000 of disposable income, okay? Let's just say, let's put this into a more realistic amount of like 15,000, okay? And do our bills. I'm gonna have 2,000 for all my bills, okay? Let's say that's it, all right? So, all right. So these are my bills. So this is my disposable income at the end of the month. We're saying, all right, I make, I lost it. I make 16,000, I spend 14,000, I only have $2,000 left as disposable income, right? For like my general expenses of things that I want to, like if I want to go out to dinner or hang out or do whatever, right? If I have a credit card that I took out for LuLaRoe specifically, okay, because this is something that I've noticed, and the reason I put this in here is a lot of spouses have issues with the fact that they want to be able, it's in the file section, Nicole, you can check it out there. You don't have. If it's red, you do not have that disposable income. And yes, you do need to download it because I fixed some calculations on the new version. It is negative. If your number is negative, okay, that means your expenses far outweigh whatever it is that you are making, okay? That means that in order for you to be able to make the money that you get, exactly, hustle the Lula, you need to sell LuLaRoe, okay? Now, for right now, let's say my monthly payment is $120, okay, that I need to pay for LuLaRoe, okay, because that's my credit card, that's what I owe. The balance that I can use for my total monthly expenses, because I have $2,000 in this case, right, I have $2,000 left, I can use $2,000 of that to, I can use $120 to pay it off, right, so that's fine, okay, no problem. Okay, that means that I'm able to pay that off with the money that I have. Okay, so that's fine. I can do that. This is basically just for you to see, because a lot of spouses, husbands, they have trouble with if you pay back the initial payment, then Section 4 is blank. Their thing is that I want to see that you're paying off that debt. I want to see that the money that we took out for LuLaRoe, you're able to sustain, which is why I separated this out for the portion where you are actively sort of building your inventory, and because you want to make sure that you're at least paying that off, because a lot of people are saying, well, I have a minimum payment I took out. Like some people don't have debt that they can use. This was the debt that they took out. It's called I just downloaded it. How is it looking different? I guess I just downloaded it, so I'm not sure how it's looking different. So inventory needed. This is what you should be seeing. Go to the left all the way here, and then go to the starting budget. That's where you're going. There's 4 tabs on this. The first tab is the starting budget. The second tab is the debt calculator. The third tab is your, oh, that has to do with your Excel. So we're going to need to talk about that I can troubleshoot that like after that, because that is the worksheet, but you may have it open in a different like numbers or something that I may not necessarily be able to help with. We can come to that later for sure, but I want to definitely at least go through all of the worksheets here so that people know what they're looking at, and then over the next day or so, you guys can fill this out. And yes, you'll combine it in Section 4. Yep, if it happens to be your LuLaRoe credit card. Okay, so your starting budget, the good news is that we're ironed all these problems out for the next one. So maybe that's the one that I'll upload, not the one where I have the run. Be like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, oopsies. Okay, so this is your starting budget. The next one, and that's fine, is recorded. Luna, seriously, sit down. Suddenly she stopped. All right. The next thing we're going to work on is your debt calculator. Now, this is something that I just want to show you. I don't necessarily want you to fill it out right now. I just want you to know that it's here, and it's something that by the next workshop, I can hear her. She's like driving me bonkers. I'll get to that. I'm not on that tab yet. I will definitely get there. Okay. Oh my God, hold on. I've got to put this dog away. Just if she pitter patters around anymore, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh, blessed silence. Blessed silence. Okay. All right. So now the other one started walking around. Honestly, this is why you don't have 3 dogs. Okay. So so I just want you to know, okay, so yes, thank you. We will come back to this, okay, and you can watch this on the recording. I will make sure that I upload, because honestly, we could troubleshoot this forever, and with 400 people on here, I'm concerned that we're not going to be able to get through to the end of it, so it's better because we can do this work. You can watch this and fill it out later. The purpose of the workshop is to get you familiar with the spreadsheet. I will email you all after this with a link to a page on our website that is going to when it is going to sorry, I'm going to upload this information, all of the materials, so that you can download them, and then the video will be there as well, so you'll be able to come back, watch the video, and go through this again. The goal, though, is before the meeting that we have on Monday or Tuesday, which we're going to talk about that in a minute as we get to the end of this, you want to have this completely filled out. Okay, you definitely want this, because otherwise you're not going to know how to get from one end to the other. Now, this side, what you want to do is give it a name. So this is going to be Chase Sapphire, maybe, right? Okay, Chase Sapphire. And the balance is $1,400. That's how much I owe on it. My monthly payment is $120. Okay, my interest rate is 0%. The end date here, you will get a link to all of the materials. You will get a link to, I'm going to go fix the download. You'll have a link to absolutely everything. The monthly payment is the minimum monthly payment that you have to pay. Okay. And the interest rate is what the current interest rate is. And then the end date is if there is a promotion that you are a part of, like the 0% or what have you, that's what the date is. So like if you have, like a lot of people buy their furniture or whatnot with 0%, this is, let's say mine is going to end 9/12/18. That means that you know that you have got to have this paid off by this date. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay interest on all of this. So that is what the purpose of the end date is so that you know in order what the actual end date of your promotion is, because nothing is worse than taking, yes, you would include the LuLaRoe in here. This is everything. And we'll talk a little bit later about the order in which we want to fill this in, like in terms of the order in which you want to pay things off in like the next tab. So what I want you guys to do is take you can ask the questions that you have right now, because that way when you're watching the replay, you'll be able to, what I'll do also is I'll go through this again and mark the timing at which you can get to certain things so that you don't have to watch the whole thing over again. So some people may want to watch just the portion about filling in the starting budget. Other people may want to watch the portion about filling in debt calculator. So it's a debt calculator at time 5 minutes and 20 seconds or whatever, so that you can go quickly to where you need to go. Okay, so I dumped that in, so that's just in there because I was testing it out, but we're going to fill that in with whatever. Okay, so now, goal budget, all right? Do you have any questions? Okay, so I want you guys to not get ahead of what's on the screen, just because people who are not there yet may not necessarily know what you're asking. So I just want to make sure, have I answered all the questions that you have on the debt calculator for the moment? Again, I am available on Facebook like constantly. So you are more than welcome to message me and ask me any questions you may have. If you have to pay her just money, yeah, if you don't have a set payment, yeah, you can pick the monthly amount there. And if she's willing to give you a few months to like zero, you just pay her zero, then do that. Yes, I didn't do it that way. Sarah and I have a very complicated spreadsheet that we ended up putting together, but this is a good place to start. Over time, you will discover that there are things that you prefer to do. Once you know your current situation and you know where you're going, it's actually going to be remarkably easy for you to adjust this in accordance with what your personal preferences are. However, you have got to get everything down on paper at least once so that you can see it all. That's the key thing, is to get it started. So yes, the end date on the debt calculator is whatever the end date of the promotion that you are on is what that is, because you need to know, and that will determine how quickly you pay certain things off. So you may prioritize paying that off before you get hit with an interest bill of 3, 4, 5. You owe interest on everything if you don't pay it off in time. So that should be a priority. You want to pay the minimum stuff on the other ones, but you definitely need to pay off that one, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense to get a 0% if you're not going to pay it off. If you have no end date, then leave it blank. Yep, not everybody has an end date. Some people just don't have any promotion. It's 29%, and that's what it is. 14%, that's what it is. That's fine. The end date is just in case you need that information. All right. The goal budget has the LuLaRoe income in there. Okay, the 5,000 that was in there, I just kind of put that in there. We're going to fill that portion in last. So what I did here was, this goal is where you want to be. Okay, once you hit critical mass, what does that mean? That means that once you have hit, and we don't know what critical mass is yet for you, by the way, we're going to figure that out. And that's kind of why you have to have this filled in, because without this, you're not going to be able to take the next several steps that you need to take to figure out how much inventory you need. So this is the starting foundation for your entire workshop experience. Okay, so you want to list your if your husband pays for everything, then you're going to want to do, like, then you're only going to fill in the portion of this. You're going to leave everything blank. If they pay for everything, then all you put in LuLaRoe income is, oh, I want to make $5,000. That's it. Because nothing else is relevant to you, because your husband pays for all of the debt. So you say, I want to make $5,000. And this is after taxes, by the way. I want to make $5,000 after taxes. Now, what you want to do is you want to fill all of this out. So let's say I'm gonna do this as if we are part of a relationship that is a partnership financially. Okay, so we have, let's say, we have $10,000 coming in from the husband, and then we have let's say, all of our bills are like, 5,000. Okay, let's say it's 5,000 total bills. Okay, that we're paying per month. Now, if we look at the bottom, our variance. Our monthly is 5,000. Our total monthly income. All right, FYI, this is not calculating. You can just, if you're in this field, just hit equals, and then go up here, select, and hit enter. That'll fix it. So this says, okay, we make $10,000 a month. We have $5,000 in bills. We have $5,000 left over. That means that you can make whatever you want to be your Lula income, right? Whatever you want. Doesn't matter, right? Because you already have $5,000 in disposable income. But let's say you're saying, I want to buy a car where my monthly payment is $2,000. Okay, like I want LuLaRoe to pay for that car payment. Okay, in that case, you're going to say LuLaRoe income $2,000. That's what I want to make, because that's going to pay for that car that I want. Or maybe my monthly fee for my son's school, that's a private school, is going to cost $2,000, and that's why I started doing LuLaRoe, so I could pay for his monthly schooling. So it's $2,000 that I want to make from LuLaRoe. Okay. Yes. Income on gold sheet is, and LuLaRoe income on gold sheet. Yes, it is net. It is net. Okay. Income is take home. You make it via sales, less all of your expenses, less everything. And so the purpose of this is to figure out, this is really this one right here, this cell. All of this other stuff is information for you to determine what the cell needs to be. So for example, let's say that your debt here, let's say that you have your monthly payments and things are, let's say $8,000. Okay, let's say that your total monthly expenses are $1,300 and your total monthly income without LuLaRoe is $10,000. Okay, you know then that your expenses exceed your income by $13,000, by $3,000, which means you know that you want to make enough LuLaRoe money to be able to pay that difference. That's why you started doing LuLaRoe, so you can pay that difference, so that you're not drowning. Because if you consider it, then you're like every month you're just going to get lower and lower. The highlighted cell is what you desire. So in this case, we're going to say I want to make $4,000 per month, because once I make $4,000 per month net, I'll be now banking an extra $1,000 a month. You'll press equals here, right? Total monthly income equals, and then you can just scroll up and click in that cell. Alternatively, you can type in equals C17. I gave this to 6 people to test, and none of us caught that. That just goes to show you, no matter how much you test something. Okay, Tiffany, where did you lose me? So what we're doing here is we're trying to figure out how much, okay, this is our goal. Thank you. This is our ultimate goal for what we want to make in LuLaRoe. So let's assume that, Talon, that your husband brings in $10,000, okay, and your monthly expenses, and I just dumped these numbers in there as an example, are $13,000, okay? Your husband brings in 10, your expenses are 13,000. The difference between the two is negative 3,000. That means that you are making less money than you're spending every month, okay? So I'm assuming that that's the reason why you joined LuLaRoe, so you'd be able to make more money, right? So you'd be able to not be in debt all the time. So let's say you say, I want to at least be able to pay my bills, but I'd like to have $1,000 to go out and eat or something. Like I don't want to be worried about money all the time. So you say, you're welcome. You say that, all right, I need to earn $4,000 a month for me to be able to pay the difference between what my husband makes and what our bills are, and have $1,000 extra for us to play around with. Okay, so I want $4,000. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up now here in this LuLaRoe income column, and I'm going to put in $4,000 because I'm going to say I want to make $4,000. If I go back down now, the calculation changes because now our income, including LuLaRoe, exceeds what our expenses are, which means now we're doing good. Okay, so now we are in a shape where my husband and I are no longer worried about money because we're paying all our bills, we're going out to dinner, we're doing some fun stuff. Okay, this is $4,000 net. This is the $4,000 you want for yourself. The next tab will show you all of the other calculations that you need to do to figure out what you're doing. But the key, got it? Okay, perfect. All right, so now we figured out that we need $4,000, right? All of us need $4,000 because every single one of us is going to need $4,000. If you go to the inventory needed tab, this is your page. This is the page that tells you everything. Equals, you enter equals C17. So you'll notice up here it says $4,000 is your desired income. This is all math that is based on these numbers right here, okay? The tax rate we put in here was estimated based on our experience, but you may change your tax rate. This number, you can change this number to whatever you want it to be. So you may say my tax rate is 30%. Perfect. Whatever your tax rate is, you can enter that information in there. If you want to replace your husband's income, then have 0 under his income and the total amount in there, because now that's, you want to replace it all. And yes, this is definitely recorded. You'll get to see the funny part where I had all the wrong download. It's hysterical. Okay, so let's say your tax rate is 30%, and then your cost of goods are going to be about 44%. That's what we've sort of seen. Yeah, it's because you have the older version. You're going to need to download the new version. Once you download the new version and put this information in there, it will automatically populate in here. So, I'll send everybody that in an email. The problem, I wanted to actually send it as an attachment to you guys, but Eventbrite won't let me download all of your email addresses, and I couldn't put an attachment on there. No, the tax rate is not the same thing as your sales tax. This is your tax. You put in equals. No, you don't put it on line C17. So you go here to the goal budget, right? You're going to be here in the goal budget. And then down here in this total monthly income, you just do equals C17 in that area right there. And then hit enter. Right, Nicole, yeah. So it's not going to show it because you guys have an older version. We are going to upload the newer version and get you access to that. Okay, so your average retail price of a LuLaRoe item is $42. So if you want to make $4,000, right, you need to sell 243 items per month. That means that you're going to get $10,000 per month in sales. You're going to keep the $4,000. You're going to put that $1,714 aside for taxes, and then you're going to use $4,489 to replace your inventory. Okay, that means there's an average. You can talk to a CPA. You'll definitely want to talk to your CPA. Oh, that's the other information I need to give you is CPA information. We have a CPA that we work with that is very experienced in LuLaRoe, and he'll be able to help you if you need to. We'll provide that information as well. He will be able to help you identify some of the things. He understands LuLaRoe. He understands the business itself. Cyrus spent several days with him going over absolutely everything. Yep, even if you're not in the same state, he can work with you no matter where you're at. Bonus checks I would put in as income, like your second line of income. I'm in New Hampshire. Yeah, I know, he's about to be really busy. He better not charge me for my taxes. All right, so He's really, really good. He's absolutely amazing. I'm just kidding. Okay. So the number of items you need to sell per month is 243. You should talk to a CPA. You definitely need to talk to a CPA. It is going to be specific to your particular situation. You can adjust the retail price. Syra has a spreadsheet that I can send out also that has the you know, a calculator in there as an income calculator that talks about, you know, you put your styles in there and it'll give you the number that you need. The number of items you need to sell per week is 57. Okay. Now you decide here how many parties you want to have per week, and we're going to decide this based on, and I have a list here, this list here of things that I'm going to send out to all of you. It includes David Ramsey's link for paying off your debt if you want to, Experian for your credit monitoring if you want, the video upload, password for the video upload, the presentation, CPA name, spreadsheet, oh, and of course the income calculator. Okay. All right. Okay, so you'll need to, so let's say you say I only have time for 4 parties a week. At a minimum, you have got to do 4 parties a week. It's part of the consistency. It's part of making sure that people know who you are. It's part of making sure that people want to book parties with you. You know, you've got to keep the consistency. All right. And yeah, if any of you want to share your particular CPA's information that are, you know, that you use that understand LuLaRoe, you can definitely, you know, send me that information too. I'm so glad. Yes, they include every party that you're willing to have. Okay, every party that you can. Missy, we're going to talk about that at a later workshop. I have a whole workshop session on that. Okay. This section here, we're going to fill out more later once we have a chance to see your schedule. Okay, we're going to fill out your schedule next week. That's going to be the key thing, is the time management. Okay. This is going to be what helps you figure out how much you need to sell, how many parties you need to have. You should have a minimum of 4, but let's say I can have 8 parties. Sure. Then you only need to sell 8, but it should include every single party. Oh, thank you. I feel bad about the mix up with the spreadsheet, but you know, I'll get over it. You know how I am, social anxiety. This is going to be something that keeps me up at night. For reals, I'm just going to think about this for ages. So just know that, guys. I am feeling terrible about it. Okay. So, and even though it's not really a big deal, I'll just give you guys the new one, and you'll look at this and you'll update it and everything will be fine. This includes absolutely every single party that you have. This is not in-home, like, and we're going to talk, when I show you the worksheet that we have for parties, you'll see it actually includes every type of party. Big girl panties are on. Yes. Okay. In fact, Ashley and I were just talking about that today. Put on your big girl panties. Like, yes, I'm going to do this. I can do this. All right. So last but not least, I'm going to new share. Oh, this is interesting. All right. PowerPoint slideshow. Okay. We did this. We did this. We did this. Okay. Okay. Now, people. Oh, Beverly Lilly, please message or post your message, whatever it is, and I will read it. Crazy. Yes, there's going to be a place. Yeah, no, this spreadsheet already has that information. Oh, no, yes, correct. Sorry. Yes, there is a place where yes, the spreadsheet has how much you need to sell. There's another tool that I'm going to give you later that's going to tell you how many items you need and the tools to get there. How can you get there where you need to be? Okay, so here's the thing, guys. This is just a starter exercise. You know, we went through it. It's going to take time. You need to devote a couple of hours tomorrow or the day after, but definitely before Monday, to be able to think about your financial situation. I will send out the email tonight with all of this stuff and the updated spreadsheet so that everybody has what they need. In fact, what I may do is I'm going to send out an email in Eventbrite asking you to fill out a form online which has all of your email addresses, and then I can take that and send it from my Outlook so I can just attach everything. That way everybody can get the attachment, so it won't be so complicated as me having to upload and download and whatnot. I'm about to, you segue right into the next workshops. So it's actually, yeah, it's how many parties. It does not matter. That is not specifying. It's just any parties that you want. You just have to sell it. So now for, yeah, the average cost of goods and profit will remain the same. The average is fine. Okay, so now I will not send you the inventory needed worksheet. That is something that you'll get after a certain workshop. Like, we are doing this in stages on purpose. There is something that every single LuLaRoe person, myself included, is prone to doing. So I am actually taking an executive decision. We are all prone to diving headfirst and overwhelming ourselves. We are yes, you can go online to your credit card account and it'll tell you on there, or look at your statement and it'll tell you there. We are so prone to overdoing it. We are constantly overdoing it. We are constantly taking it, overwhelming ourselves and doing, I'm going to do everything. And if I gave you everything right now, 90% of you would do everything right now, all of it. And then you would overwhelm yourself and then you'd be like, I don't want to do this, I'm done, okay? You do have to register for each one, yes. And I'm going to get better and better at it as I do it. You know, we're all learning here, and so we'll be better next time. So these are when the next workshops will be. Saturday night, after I do the second one of these, I will release the dates on that for everyone to register. I'm going to probably release a little bit more tickets this time because 900 people registered, and I'm kind of distressed that only 400 showed up, just because there were a lot of people who really wanted to join that weren't able to because it was full. So that's distressing, but I mean, it is what it is. So Eastern time, this is going to be Eastern time. Everything will be uploaded. Once the session is done, the link for it will be posted. You know, I'm going to basically take all this, put it all on a web page, and put the link in the business page with a password, because only consultants should be able to have access to this. And then you guys can access it as you see fit, and every single person who's a consultant can access it. So we want to make sure that everyone has access. So if you miss one, you don't have to worry. This is not a one-time thing that you only have access to while you're here. Yes, I'm sorry, that was my bad. Oh, yes. You know what? Somebody mentioned that to me. That's my fault. But I will make sure that I will post the Eventbrite link in the business page. So make sure you join the business page. It's here. And I will send out an email. I'll send out an email to everybody. Okay, it's not here. I will. Good grief. There we go. Here. It's here. I will approve everyone. And yeah, I know I always forget to check the times, and I have the problem with home office calls, because I'm always like, what? So yeah, so the next workshop, I will all go up on Saturday. You'll have to register for each one. Tonight I will send an email out to you guys with all the information that you need. We have 7 workshops that are coming up. Each and every one will tackle a piece of it. So and if you want to see what all of them are going to be on the business page, there is like an outline of all of them and what you're going to learn in each one. Time management is next week. After that is going to be inventory. How much inventory do you need to hit the goals that you're trying to reach? And once you know 3 things, where are you trying to go? How much time do you have? And how much inventory do you need? You can use those 3 items to adjust your goals accordingly and figure out exactly what it is you need to do to be able to get where you need to go. All right, so if you have any questions, please do. Thank you, Elise. If you have any questions, I have to go get my hair dyed purple. But if you have any questions, we will not address business expenses, because those are addressed in several other workshops that we already have done in the past. The videos are all online. Also, we have a CPA coming to talk to us, and he'll be talking about that too. I would prefer not to, just because I need to work this, you know, in the old trainings are all on the business page. You can search for them, and they're all there. There's tons of trainings. And we have guest speakers who come every Tuesday to speak with everyone. Nope, the 72-hour game plan of action is until later. Next week is time management. The week after that is inventory management. And it's not even week by week. We actually have a couple all in the same week. And then we have building your contact list, and then we have the actual action plan. If I give it to you now, it's going to be too overwhelming. And trust me, I put together a whole lot of stuff very deliberately so that we could build on prior workshops. I will send you the CPA information in the email that I send out. I'm not sure, but I'm going to send out also the entire curriculum, you know, along with this email curriculum. I will post a picture of my hair in the business group. Everybody can see it. Alrighty, thank you so much. I am so glad. I'm sorry for the trouble with the spreadsheet, but I will make sure that I send out the updated spreadsheet as soon as I get back from my hair appointment. Saturday night. The dates for the next workshop are listed right here, Monday 9/12 and Tuesday 9/13. I will also send you an email that will have a form link that you can post your email so that I can get everybody's email addresses. And that way I can send it out to everyone. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you watching the recording. And I will see you guys. The next one is on Monday. So I will see you on Monday. Thank you. Now I need to figure out how to end this meeting. Oh, end meeting. There we go.